we're going live.
Oh, crap.
We're live.
Are we not doing Instagram this time?
Yes, not.
We're not doing anything with YouTube this time.
Hi, YouTubes.
Hi, everybody.
We're here to talk about Westworld Season 2, Episode 1.
Journey into the night.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Journey
Into the night.
We have these maze toys that we wanted here with us, so they're here.
These were made, actually.
I had to go look for something.
Shout out to Paul Vasilakos.
Long.
We actually are giving these away as a
He
He
Kickstarter.
actually made these all by hand from a mold that he created.
These are going to some of our Kickstarter backers.
So make sure when we throw a Kickstarter thing out, you follow it and see what awesome rewards we get. You can get actually. Look how cool that is.
Isn't that awesome?
Handmade and
Hand freaking made,
stained
dude.
and everything.
Anyways, okay, so
Welcome. We're going to talk about Westworld Season 2, Episode 1, Journey in the Night. Theories, thoughts, all that good stuff. Let's go. Where do we
discussion time. So,
begin?
basically, we open with Arnold and Dolores, right?
Was it Arnold?
That's the first debate.
Yeah.
Was that Arnold or was it Bernard? I think it was Arnold because he is talking about how he's scared of Dolores becoming sort of like a monster. It's like foreshadowing. I think that is Arnold like 30 years before all this shit is going down with like the Wyatt narrative and all that stuff. So I think it is Arnold. It's Arnold while he was alive talking to Dolores and sort of seeing how she's evolving and whatnot.
Right. He seems to know about her kind of plan or her kind of coming into consciousness. I don't think Bernard really was aware of that.
Right.
Whenever he interviewed her, it was really just the basic, like, you're in a dream, blah, blah, blah. Kind of,
if it was Bernard, there's got to be multiple Bernards.
I think there
running
are
around at the same
multiple
time.
Bernards running around at the same time. I think this is a little bit too consequential how when you do see the first scene of the opening show that Bernard is talking about literally a dream he has about walking up on an ocean. So what I believe is happening there is that the multiple different Bernards are talking to each other through the mesh network. They're communicating memories and thoughts and maybe behaviors in a way.
In real time.
In real time. So maybe kind of like when he actually did see the people at the end in the water, he goes, I killed them, but was that him actually, or was that a different robot version of Bernard?
Or is he just feeling like he killed them, not directly, but because of his actions, that's what ended up getting them killed. Like he didn't physically kill them, but he feels the guilt and the responsibility of their death. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
I don't know. I really believe there's multiple Bernards because how crazy. They love to do multiple different timelines, but what about multiple different people in the same timeline?
That would be crazy. We do know that like there are multiple Bernard like bodies for the host, but we just don't know if they're operating at the same time. So that's an interesting theory that they could be.
Ooh, multiples.
yeah, I just would be confused by that.
But were we confused in the first season?
I mean,
We're confused now. And all
We're just always confused in the show. Does anyone have any thoughts?
The no person who was watching.
I'm going to see if we can get Instagram going because I think that did help last time.
I'm sharing.
So if you're watching this now, later, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
And if you do watch this later, but please just comment below and let us know we will respond to any of your comments. So yeah.
How do we go live on Instagram again?
If you know that, tell us and we'll
yeah.
go. There you go.
Live. Tap. What? No, live. Okay. Where is this going to go?
Perfect.
Instagram.
You don't have your...
That's fine right there. That's fine right there. Looks like nothing to me.
It doesn't look like anything to me.
But yes.
Okay. Can you scoot in a little this way, Katie? There we go. I'm going to start a live video.
On Instagram.
Checking connection. Do-do-do-do-do.
Hi, Insta.
Hi, Instagram.
Hello.
We are live on YouTube as well right now, so we're going to be going back and forth between the two chats. Do you have your phone so you can like keep a lookout for what people are saying on Instagram? Can you grab her phone?
But also, it'll pop up right here.
I know, but it's so hard to like follow along with it.
It's so hard to follow
2 people
along.
already joined on Instagram. See, that's why we do the Instas. Okay, so basically what we just talked about, this is for Instagram because we just did it on YouTube, but we were talking about the beginning of, okay, so if you have not seen, I can't touch the table. I'm not allowed to touch the table. I'm not allowed to touch the table. Oh my God. Okay. So if you have not seen Westworld Season 2, Episode 1.
Don't watch this.
Yeah, just click away. Watch it later. Because this is going to have some spoilers. So the first scene of Season 2, Episode 1, Journey
into the night.
Into the night. I was going to say Journey into the past. Journey into the night.
This is not Anastasia.
Anastasia. They open with Arnold. I think it's Arnold talking to Dolores.
I think it is another multiple Bernard.
Yeah, Julia thinks there are multiple Bernards going on in the same real time,
like with different Dolores thinks it's Arnold?
I think she knows. No, she knows it's Bernard, and I think that's just super weird. Kind of like how they are talking to each other in that scene. We're kind of like she kind of like and goes kind of like it seems like you're forgetting something. What do you have to say? Like I think she's breaking down his like memory and stuff like that, and actually just like testing him. Are you kind of like loyal to us, like as Arnold and Bernard used to do Dolores? Like, I wouldn't be surprised at the end of, like, one episode, we do see her asking the same exact scene, kind of like, analysis. Why did you say that?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be super cool to actually see that,
That, like, actually Dolores has been the one controlling Bernard the entire time.
In a way, maybe it's right there, because maybe it does have control over other hosts. Why does Dolores not have the same exact power in a way? I
think because she wasn't built that way. She wasn't built to, I think,
Well, how do we know?
I think that Ford was in control of everything, and he built Bernard to sort of like continue Arnold's work. So Arnold,
but obviously that Maeve can control hosts, as we saw in that one scene where that guy was attacking.
She was able to, but I think she sort of like was able to teach herself how to do that, like since she had access to all of it. I think Dolores, if she had access to all of that technology, maybe she could figure out how to do it, but right now she's just doing the best she can with like violence.
I don't think that Dolores wants to control them. I think she just wants them to willingly go with her. And
she wants to lead a rebellion.
Well, how easy way is it for people to follow you without them controlling? That's a lot easier to have control.
She does seem like the type who would want total control of everything. So maybe. And then the other question is just how many different timelines are going on in that first episode. So we theoretically have like 30 years prior, if that is Arnold. And then we have some that are even like we are in the future we haven't seen yet because where all the hosts are dead in the water at the end, and Bernard kind of says like, oh, I these
Bernard
hosts. Teddy's in there with them. So this has to be in the future. So there's two timelines there. And then the third timeline is the present timeline, which is like the 2 weeks after the season finale of season 1.
I think that's part of the same. The water finding, when you find them all in the water, is the same 2 weeks.
Then the other timeline has to be when Teddy is with Dolores riding around and shooting everybody
also
up.
That's also kind of like right after the reckoning when he's hanging out with Charlotte trying to figure out stuff. So if you really want to say that that's Arnold in the first scene, that's one timeline. And then I go 2 weeks after the reckoning, and then I go like a day after the reckoning, pretty much, or like right afterwards.
So you think that there are two? I think there's 3 timelines.
There's 3 timelines because you got to always remember kind of like when Charlotte's hanging out with Arnold.
Well, if
Bernard,
you go with that theory you had where there's more than one happening at once, what if one of them is with Charlotte and one of them is with the other, like the military people?
Well, that's 2 weeks later. Like when she's hanging out in that barn, like that's right afterwards. Because when you do see kind of like right outside the barn, people are shooting that girl with the water on top of her head. Like that same guy shows up on the beach and they automatically shoot him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's where the timelines collide somewhere.
A lot of different things happening in one.
Yeah, but there are a bunch of things that we're going to watch this thing later when we figure out all these things that Westworld will throw at us in the next couple 10 weeks. So we'll go back and we watch it and be kind of like, oh, it's right there in front of me. How did I not see that?
And then another question is, Ford is dead. There are maggots eating out his eye socket. I'm pretty sure that's dead. You can't come back from. So the question is,
look at this be robotic socket, like robotic maggots.
Robot maggots?
Robot maggots.
Maybe. That's a possibility. But more than likely he's like dead now, which I did not think was gonna happen. But what if Ford had uploaded his consciousness before he died into a host somewhere in the park.
Or maybe multiple different
Well, I think multiple
park.
because it seemed like he was within the child.
His voice was talking with young Ford.
Young Ford with Men in Black.
So and then Men in Black just immediately killed him, but I feel like, you know, he has to be within other hosts too.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way.
In a very exact replica of himself.
He could even be in the Abernathy guy. The one that they want to get out of the park.
And Dolores' dad.
Yeah.
The package that wasn't delivered.
The insurance.
So this is why they're all stuck on the island, because they haven't delivered the dad, and maybe he did put himself in the dad. Oh my goodness. I kind of like see it leading to like, I don't even like somewhere outside of the park. Like maybe he is outside of because she thought that she delivered him, right? Charlotte thought she delivered.
Yeah, he was supposed to be
What if he broke out of his delivery and he's like running around in the world right now, like tearing up shit, and she has no idea that like that is what's happening. Also, what happened to Logan?
I want to know where Logan is now. Like in present day Logan.
Old Logan. Is he still alive? Is he still friends with the Man in Black, William? Like
Renee, if you're
I don't think so.
Logan.
We are talking about Logan. I also want to know where Felix is right now.
I was thinking that too last night.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too.
I kept expecting him to walk in.
Where is Felix?
Where'd he go?
Where is Felix? And he's not even in like previews and stuff. Like, did they
oh, shut up!
Yeah, they just forget about him. Like,
no.
where is
I can't forget about him.
You can't forget about Felix. What did he do? Where did he go?
When did we last see him?
When he gave her, when he gave Maeve.
Oh, yeah, so in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he was still there. We didn't see him dead. We haven't seen him
He's
dead
probably
body.
hiding in like a closet, just like, holy shit.
With his bird. You're like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Don't say anything. Tweet, shut up. Who knows? Oh, poor Felix.
So what were the other questions from the episode? Like, a lot of things were confusing, but there's a lot of follow-up theories.
The list.
I can't touch things. It's going to explode.
Oh.
Ah!
Completely natural to do this. I'm live streaming.
Completely natural.
And one of my questions was, why was Bernard like short-circuiting? Like,
I've got a theory about that one.
Julia has a theory. We like talked about a couple things earlier, but yeah, if anyone else has any ideas about why he did, because we haven't seen any hosts really do that before. Like,
the short circuit,
or just like get
overload of information.
Yeah, so much overload that they were basically going to explode. Like he was basically told, "You are going to die."
So Julia thinks it's because there are multiple Bernards running around, and they're sort of empathically sending data to each other, and it's overloading himself with information. He's sort of short-circuiting, like if your iPhone doesn't have enough data, but data keeps getting sent in, your iPhone is going to
shut down after a point.
It's going to go really slow, or it's going to like flip out, and then it's going to probably power off.
And then all of a sudden Instagram will open and be kind of like, is this now or is this later? You know? Like, I don't know.
You know how that happens.
Know how that happens.
That is Julia's theory. What is your theory, KATEY?
I don't really have one right now. I'm just...
We'll talk about what you wrote.
What did I write?
Well, was it because he was consumed by guilt?
Oh, yeah, that was more just because we see at the very end of the episode, he kind of says, like, I killed them all. So it's like, oh, maybe, but it doesn't really make sense because that's different timelines. Now that I know that happens later, I don't.
Yeah.
Or at the same time, there's multiple.
No, that's different times.
Okay.
How do we know that's 2 weeks later?
Because they say kind of like, oh, this was 2 weeks ago. We've been off power for 2 weeks. We just got power now. Okay. Yes. Pay attention to every little word. Every little word is a piece of the puzzle.
The only way I'm able to do that is if I watch it like
Joshua, hello.
Hi, Joshy.
Q, hello.
Hey, everybody.
And, Tyler from our Cloned Orphan parody.
So I go sideways. Someone's got to cock a head to the side and be like, who's that?
Why did Bernard seem to be the only host not part of the Wyatt narrative? What was Ford's plan for him, or was he acting out of his own free will?
I don't know if that's true that he was the only one, but it kind of seems
like it. I feel he's not the only one because Dolores is shooting up the Native Americans. And we see that in the playback video that they found, but why are they not allowed to go to
The Valley of
Beyond with her. She's sort of like, before she shoots him, the Native American that they pull the memory from, we see her say, like, not all of us are worthy.
I told you not all of us are worthy to go to the next valley.
Yeah, like
I told you one thing that she had a conversation with this guy beforehand, telling him, like, you're not going to go there.
Well, when are we going to see that stuff?
Oh, you're not.
Come help me anyway. Who knows?
It might be because the Ghost Nation sort of like worshipped the technicians as gods. When we see the little spaceman toy thing, that they're like, oh, don't bother with them. They worship them. That's their god and stuff. So maybe she's just sort of like, oh, you're on the wrong path, and I don't have time to persuade you right now.
Or what I think is one of the things is because it's not actually one of the original people from the original park. The Wyatt narrative only lived in the people of the park.
And I see it.
The real robots. Everyone else built after that, they actually don't have the consciousness because they actually never went through it. So why would Ghost Nation have it if they were built after the Wyatt narrative? Like
so
all the original
84 hosts that were sort of asked about. Alan Gray.
Read it out loud.
Hi, Alan. What if it all started because Ford put his consciousness in a robot and it killed him and took over?
Oh.
Also, I can't hear you anymore.
Why? Because we went away.
Did we go away?
Can you hear us now, Alan?
Alan?
Did we disconnect something? I know I'm putting you up. I don't know if I'm putting myself up. Oh, is that the microphone?
Sorry. Instagram.
Put that somewhere else.
It looks like we are sending audio. Oh, I can hear you now. Can you hear me now? Good. Can Instagram hear us? I guess it's because we clicked away from the page. That's weird that happened.
Science!
But yeah, what if it all started because Ford put his consciousness in a robot and it killed him and took over?
Ooh, I like that.
That would be crazy. This was all robot run from the very beginning. It was never intended by any of the humans.
There was no humans the whole time. It's all just been robots trying to fight each other.
That goes back to my theory about the whole thing where they're all robots.
But you didn't think it was because the robots killed them and took over.
Who knows how it started?
So that's an interesting point.
It could be, I mean, like, I think the point of Delos is to update their technology and get to a goal of being able to upload consciousness into a robot body so that you can live forever. Mm-hmm. So,
or to have yourself at multiple different places at once. Like
and send yourself data. You're really into that theory.
I don't know. I just think it's just like, just imagine if you could be in Paris and Japan at the same time, you know, like separately, but it feels like you're there both at the same time. You know? Experience is just memories, you know. Isn't a memory? It's just past experiences that we like.
Or maybe like it was just he had things uploaded into him. Maybe every time that Arnold or Bernard died and got uploaded into a new body, he sort of like was supposed to be wiped, but it was still transferred over. And now he's getting like glitches of that.
But why do you have all these flashbacks that kind of like looks like they're like in current within the last 2 week time?
The last 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. I don't even know why he's short circuiting.
That might just be one theory. Yeah, that might just be something that happens when they short circuit. Maybe like
maybe his batteries is dying.
Memories will just are their strongest memories, most traumatic.
It seems very significant in the episode, though. It's very focused on like why is he short circuiting? What is going on? Is it simply because he like hit his head and now the juices are coming out of his ear?
That happens to me sometimes.
What is the reason for that?
Maybe he shot himself in the head one time. He's just like, oh, I'm still feeling that repercussion from
and
it.
How many people do we think know that Bernard is a host? Or do we think that most people think he is a human? Because it seems like the military rescue team all think that he's a human. He's sort of keeping it a secret from them that he is a host. But then Charlotte takes him to this like underground basement thing where they scan his DNA and they let him in. Does she realize that he's a host? Is she okay with that? Or maybe she's going to figure that out later when we see in the trailer, like she finds the multiple bodies of Bernard. Obviously she's going to find out, or she already knew.
Right.
So
and it's possible that all this time she was working with Ford and she did know
everything. It is possible. That was, yeah, I don't know.
Because she seems kind of mysterious too.
I don't know what her deal is. I can't pin that one down. It looks like she's pretty much of a bitch, but I really can't pin that one down.
She's a bitchy.
But it also, she also seemed really nervous about, you know, the fact that they might all get left to die.
Yeah, that wouldn't make me nervous too.
But she was kind of just like, she wasn't even fighting. She was just like, yeah, that's just how it is. They're just going to leave us here.
They don't have their package, so we got to go find the package.
But did she know that was going to happen?
It just seems like
she didn't know that was going to happen.
Kind of, yeah.
It's kind
of
like
why she was just kind of like, whatever, that's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that we wanted to go over? Like, why would Bernard kill all of those hosts? Why would he turn on his brethren? Why would he put them all in the water like that? Like, how could he kill all of those people, first of all?
Yeah. I mean, we were saying earlier, we don't really feel like he did it himself. He was just responsible for whatever
Indirectly responsible.
There was another theory that, like, Bernard took Dolores off the island and into the world and then came back and left her out in the world. And that's where he's jumping over timelines.
Yeah. Like the one you actually see her like in the future kind of thing.
Maybe that's what causes them to short circuit. They go too far from the base.
Oh, maybe.
That would explain that. And then maybe they could reveal that that's where he had been.
Yeah.
2 weeks have gone by and he was just lying on a beach. Maybe he just got back from the real world, like dropping off Dolores. And then he's like, oh shit, they all died because I left.
I left them behind. I didn't tell them to drink water and food. My bad. My bad. My babies
like
are dead.
Sims.
Yeah, like your Sims. Your Neopets that you guys all neglected. You remember those things? Yeah. Well, yes.
Oh, okay.
Those are our theories so far. In the first season. I don't know. I thought we were doing this now. On the first season of season 2, Westworld, episode 1, Journey into the Night.
Alan had another comment.
Maybe they reprogrammed the host to start a purge at the park.
What are they purging?
Maybe Bernard did. Purging, like the purge where you just like kill everybody.
I know, but like.
Maybe it was the only way to stop the Wyatt narrative. He was
maybe.
Just like, God, just kill them all.
Gotta kill them all. Gotta kill them all.
Gotta kill them all. Westworld!
Gotta kill them all.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this episode just opened up so many other questions. It didn't really explain anything that was going on.
No.
Right.
Well, that's Westworld for you.
Oh my gosh. And I was really hoping since the end of the first season, we were like, wow!
That this one would. I mean, it kind of. The only things it really explained were like who's still alive and who's dead.
We established them like teams.
Except for a few people. Like we haven't seen.
Yes.
We still don't know where Elsie?
Yeah, Elsie.
Yeah, we don't know.
How is Elsie?
She is.
Or Logan, my favorite character. And Renee's favorite character. Okay, well, that's pretty much all the theories we have on the first episode of season 2.
Journey into the Night!
We are going to be doing this.
People watching now.
Yeah, they keep going.
Every Monday. So every Monday, the day after an episode airs, we're going to have a discussion about it, our thoughts and theories on what we watched. So come discuss with us. We will see you next week. Thank you guys. And Perfectly Serious Productions out.
Yay!
Bye,
Westworld!
Oh, and make sure to go to the description below on YouTube. There is our Westworld parody down there. So make sure to check that out. Give it a big thumbs up and a comment. We will see you guys next week.
Thanks, Alan.
What did he say?
He said, well, it will keep us thinking. Great job on video. Thank you for starting me watching Westworld. I had to binge it. Nice.
Wow, so
Mwah. Love you, Alan. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. See you next time.